Hi everyone, today on the content we're looking at the words called push back. A lot of us might be wondering what these words mean, but I thought it was important that I shared some light on these words and the benefits and the advantages they bring to individuals who actually apply the pushback methodology, if I want to call it that. Many years ago, I once had a boss. And this boss I had experience from America. He had worked in several multinationals, and saw this opportunity in the local entity of the company I used to work at the time to come to Nigeria and head the unit I joined. And when I started working with him, very hands-on individual, very intelligent, very ambitious. Young individual. But what I noticed about him was that every time we had to engage, every time we had to work on a project, every time we had an assignment to deliver, not only did we start on time, but before I met him, I didn't know how to say no. So what that means is that every time I was working in that organization, for the period I worked in that organization, there will be certain, I know my job entitlement, I know what my KPIs require, I know what I'm supposed to bring to the table, I know when I'm supposed to go above and beyond, and I even know when I'm supposed to think outside the box. But I did not know how to say no. I didn't know how to push things that were thrown at me backwards, because I always felt that pushing back was a lazy man's attitude. Pushing back was a way to avoid working, or a way to push or give someone else your task and place that responsibility on another colleague or someone else who you can take advantage of. But when I met Ade, I understood that pushback was an essential quality that a successful individual would require in his career, or being an entrepreneur, or whatever endeavors you find yourself in. And I'm basically going to drill down a bit more on what this pushback really entails. And I'll give you practical examples. On a Monday morning, I open my mailbox, right? Someone sends me a request that should have been sent to me a week before time of execution, right? Okay, this is a standard, and obviously there are always anomalies. There are always upsets that would require a shorter time frame or a window to get execution. What am I trying to say? You have 7 days latency to execute on a particular project or request. There might be once in a while that request will entail a day or two, so they're only going to tell you a day before, or that particular day that you're supposed to execute, but it should not be the norm, right? Fine. But before Ade came into my life, before I started working with Ade, if you brought your request 7 days to execution, I'll be happy. But what did I find out? I found out that because of the environment we were working in at the time, I found out that a lot of people were always bringing in their request a day before the cutoff point, or sometimes even on the date of the cutoff. And before I met Ade, I would grumble, I would squeeze my face, I would be upset, but I would do the job. And what I found out was that I was setting myself up for a failure, or for failures to come, because when I started experiencing a lot more of those last minute crunch time, I would have to sacrifice my personal time or some other things to be able to deal with situations that these individuals, if they are probably started on time, or if they are paid more attention to the situations, then we will not find ourselves where we were at that particular point in time. Ade came to my life and changed the whole thing. I started learning how to tell these individuals, you know what, I won't be able to handle this because it is already beyond the cutoff period, or I do not have enough time to be able to put in my best work. At the beginning, when I first started dishing out pushbacks, these colleagues I worked with at the time, they were upset with me, they didn't like me. All of a sudden, because I was always a yes man and never really trying to hurt anybody's feelings, always trying to be in everybody's good books in the office, I was always saying yes to all the situations. But guess what? Immediately I started learning how to push back. Immediately I started applying pushback in my career at the time. things changed. I started getting these individuals to bring in their work. So the latency, increased from a day or that same day of cutoff to 2 days before cutoff. We moved from 2 days to 3 days. We moved from 3 days to 4 days. And eventually, these individuals started bringing in their requests at the right time for execution to take place. Yes, like I said, once in a while, there might be a glitch in the system, or there might be a challenge, or someone is not feeling fine and you have to sit in, or you have to make that request happen on the fly, which is fine. But what am I saying? It should not be a normal occurrence in whatever organization you're working for, or if you seem to be handling clients because you're an entrepreneur and there's always that last minute, there's always that, I know he's going to make it happen. Employ pushbacks in your life. People will appreciate the value of your work even more. You can push back on pricing. If you give your customers a certain price because at the time you were trying to gather in and rake in as much customers to get your business to take flight, fine. But there has to be a point where you start to push back, whereby your customers ask you for things that are either not covered in the scope, or you haven't just factored them into your final pricing. You should be bold enough to be able to tell these individuals, hey, I'm sorry, I want to help, but because of this, that, and due to these reasons, I won't be able to take them up, or I won't be able to, address this request. Once you begin to operate like this as an individual, your career will continue to move from stride to stride. You, as an individual, as an entrepreneur, as a 9-to-5er, will continue to, at the beginning it might be a bit, people might just be a bit upset, or people might, find you as a difficult individual. But in the long term, in the long run, you would always put your best foot forward. You always give the best of your abilities, because these individuals who bring this request to you know the kind of individual you are, know what you stand for, know that you're someone who's all about success and trying to get the work to be as good as it possibly can be. And so, digital influencer, I want us to start this new week understanding the concept of pushback. If the video didn't really shed enough light on these words, maybe you should take out some time to do a bit of research to be able to understand what the concept actually means and how you can employ it into whatever you seem to be doing now. Hey guys, learn to push back, learn to say no. Don't always be a yes man or a yes lady or a yes individual, because at the end of the day, you stretch yourself thin, and the quality of the services that you provide will continue to dwindle and depreciate because you always want to say yes. I will see you at the top. I remain your digital influencer. Follow me, hit the request button, hit the like button, share this with individuals that you feel that need this content to be able to move forward, to be able to take that step forward in the right direction. And remember, like I always say, I will see you, yes, you, at the top. Cheers.